live. It's not refreshing, so I don't know if we're live because it doesn't tell me anything. But we could be live. It's still spinning.
It still says.
But you know, we're live because we are. Because
it is
just
baby.
Drinking. What's up, guys? I hope you're having an amazing day today. It's Wednesday night. We're super pumped. We are super excited. I'm obviously going to get some stuff. I'm going to get it shared over to the Facebook group. I'm going to get it added in before I make some major announcements. In the meantime, Royer is going to keep you entertained by doing some amazing Royer stuff that he does.
Invisible juggling.
Oh, he's so good. So good at that.
I'm going to add one.
Did you add one?
I added one.
That's amazing.
See that?
I love that. I love that. So I hope you guys are having an amazing.
Light this one on fire.
As you guys are coming in, man, light it on fire. As you guys are coming in, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. We always love that. We appreciate it. It helps us reach more viewers, more people. Let them know you're watching. We love to spread the good word of rum, so we want to make sure that they know that we're here. We're doing this, so we appreciate you guys. So I'm just putting this into the Facebook group so that more people know that we're hanging out, because we got to hang out, because we've got
a great group,
a very special guest tonight. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, it's kind of weird if you haven't figured it out, but you know, we're here, right? So we're excited for that. Couple of announcements as I'm going to type this in, because we are live. Look at that. We're amazing. We are live, and I posted, so I'm done here.
Awesome.
So we have a couple of announcements. The first one is we are setting up Rum Club's meeting for this month. We got some rum sent out. We actually have more rum that got sent out this month for you guys. So if you guys are looking to join Rum Club the beginning of each month, you're going to get that welcome basket of whichever month you join. And
it's going to be an awesome basket.
And then we got the quarterly subscription package that comes out to you guys as well. So make sure you check that out. I will get the links posted after the live. I will get that in there as well. On top of that, we have some pretty big news. We've been talking about it. We've been teasing it a little bit, and I'm gonna let Royer announce it.
We're going to Miami Rum Fest. Yeah, baby.
We're going.
Miami will never be the same.
Iowa is invading
Miami
Rum Fest.
We're gonna hit it hard.
So we're gonna be there. We have not been since 2019, when we first started the channel with 7 subscribers. We had 9 when we left Miami Rum Fest. We're gonna be back, and we're super excited. So November 12th and 13th, we will be in Miami Rum Fest, and we're excited to be there. So make sure that you guys join us there. Now, the big announcement, guys.
I'm just gonna say I'm looking forward to meeting this guy right here.
Boom.
Right? Rob.
Hey, baby.
Rob.
How you doing?
I'm
doing great.
Doing great, Rob. We're so glad that you're here.
Yes.
So Rob is a cocktail
specialist.
Don't let him tell you otherwise. He is the best rum cocktail specialist in all of the land of just drinking today.
He has.
Please. I'm just the best one online right this moment.
Exactly.
On our channel.
Our channel right now.
For the next hour.
Seriously, he has been, he's met and hung out with some of the best bartenders and what do they call them? Drinkologists?
Well, if you meet a guy who works behind a bar and calls himself mixologist, it's code for pretentious sucker. So No, I use it very carefully to mean I don't work at a bar. I don't push drinks for a living, but I can make an entire menu if you so ask.
That's awesome.
All you need to do is ask. I'll write you a whole menu. Just let me do it for you.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That's what mixologist means. Is I make fancy drinks, but I don't work at a place.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That's a lot of
the higher calling really is bartending, because the true test of whether the guy in front of you pushing drinks is a badass is whether he can do it consistently and do it creatively and do it when they're 20 deep at the bar and it's still the same. You know what? That's a killer bartender you got when you get all 3 of those.
Royer has that experience.
Yes.
He knows how to put 20 down and then still be able to communicate to you what he needs.
And they're all the same,
I love it. So we got some people joining us here tonight. Greg, we got Fred, we've got Steven, we've got Nia from My Rum Diaries.
Maybe I should open the chat so I can keep an eye too.
Yeah, we got Tony. We're all keeping an eye on the chat tonight. So if you guys have questions as the night goes on, make sure to put them in the chat. If you want to talk to us, we're going to try to jump in there as much as we can.
If you have any questions at all for Rob, let us know.
Absolutely.
We will convey that right directly to him.
Absolutely.
So I'll keep it open down here. so I can
Awesome.
keep an eye on you guys in the chat there.
All right, that's right. We're keeping an eye on you guys out there. So we got to start you off
sure,
here.
Chapter. I will say real quick. Of course, I'm pretentious. I call myself a rum expert. Can you get more pretentious than that?
I love it.
I love it.
We are rum nextperts is what we like to refer to. We're going to be the next rum experts of the world.
Yep.
The only difference between me and you, all right, is how many rums I've had. That's it.
We are on a journey to catch you.
Yes.
Our life goal is to catch you.
That's one of our goals there.
I've had more people teach me cool things, and I've tried more kinds of rum. Like some of the stuff behind me, you might have noticed. By the way, not a prop. Just in case anyone ever thought, come on, that's just a picture, right? Just so I can prove to you, I'm just going to take a random one down. If you think that's a setup, I'll just pick here. We'll try this one. Here, right there. See, they're real. It's really a big wall of rum.
Yeah, it's not just
It's
not
none
just
of
a picture.
it's mine.
That's awesome. It's so impressive too, Rob.
I do.
I mean, seriously. I'm so
bad.
excited.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
So I gotta ask. So Tony asked the question too. He said he's looking for Dr. Stoner's. Have you had Dr. Stoner's Island Herb Bush Rum?
I would think I would remember a name like that.
You would definitely remember it.
You would absolutely
if you had
100% remember. So this is what Dr. Stoner's looks like right here.
Okay.
This is a white or silver rum, if you will. And it's a very unique, different expression, something that we've never experienced. And I'm not sure what kind of life experiences that you've had, but we will say that, we'll just double check. Yep. Yeah, it smells just like a bag of weed.
Just like a bag of weed.
Yep.
I was going to say, it smelled like a stoner made it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Exactly.
So definitely worth the experience.
Like Zoink Scoops, I think we got a rum.
It's incredible. So I want to get into this a little bit here tonight. We got some people jumping in. Say hello when you guys jump in. We're watching the chat. We love you guys. You guys are amazing. So one thing I want to know. So you are obviously a journeyman of rum. You've had a lot of rum.
Yeah.
You've been taught by some of the best mixologists of the world. Let's talk about kind of your journey a little bit, like what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're at right now.
Well, to be fair, my journey started by stealing my dad's rum when I was in high school.
Smart.
There was only one rum he kept in the freezer, and I figured that must be the really good one because it's the only one he keeps in the freezer. So I would take that to parties, and my friends would be drinking. I'm like, what is that green stuff? Put that down. That looks awful. Try this. Isn't that better? And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, Haitian. Barbancourt.
There you go.
There you go.
Me and the rum were the same age.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is up on that. I can admit it now, right? Yeah, there you go. That's the good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you ever seen the really old bottle of it, by the way?
No, seriously.
No, let's check it out.
Just because it's here, I got to pull it out, right? Same old box that everyone knows, right?
Yeah,
so if you haven't seen it before. And there's two variations. I don't know if you guys talked about this last time, but when Barbancourt came up, I was like practically ready to jump through the screen because there's two variations, and it's an important delineation here. In the States, you get estate reserve, right?
Yes.
And in the islands, you get reserve de domaine.
Oh, wow.
This is the old label, and they used to come numbered.
Very
cool.
Sweet. I love that.
That's
too.
cool.
I love that. Seriously.
I have about 2 of these left in my own collection, and I might open them if I used to say if the Queen comes over, but I guess she's not coming now.
She didn't make it.
I'll open one up for the first royalty to show up at the Tiki, which is my place. Which is, by the way, an abbreviation of Tiki Speakeasy.
Very nice.
And,
I like it. I like that.
In memory of Rocky, who named it for me.
So we got,
but yeah, the old Barbancourt 15-year reserve de domain is what I took to parties. And my friends got so used to it. They were like, listen, I'm going to get my older brother to buy us a few bottles of that. So you'd have to steal it from my dad. And I'm like, well, good. My work here is done then.
Yes.
I don't have to drink poorly at parties. And we don't have to drink like, whatever that Mad Dog stuff is. No, we're good with that. We can.
Mad Dog.
Right. So I never, to really properly explain how this all started, I never drank the stupid stuff we all drink before we're supposed to. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never really had a Rumpelmans phase, or Jaeger. God help us, Jaeger.
Been there, done that.
In fact, by the time my dad was writing the Rum magazine and they invited him to go be a judge in this thing in Tampa, he said, hey, you want to drive me up there? I'm like, yeah, sure. I got an ex. I'll go look her up. So during the day, I hung out with her, and he was in the room judging all these other rums. And every night I'd meet back up with him, and I was basically their designated driver. And so going around Tampa, we're all talking, habla mierda, as they say, right? And they're like, you should be a rum judge too. I said, pull the other one. It's got bells on. They're like, no, you know just as much about this stuff as your dad does. And I'm like, well, could it be because I've grown up around his ever-growing collection? I mean, I've only heard him talk about it forever, right?
Exactly.
I said, if you can get me in as a judge, I'll do it. But until then, I just don't believe it. Sure enough, Ian Burrell, Renee Van Hoven, and a handful of other guys all vouched for me and said, he needs to be a judge, trust me. And then I was.
That's
and
awesome.
then I started going to different events for rum everywhere with my dad. And to differentiate between the two of us, I started studying cocktails because before me, he knew like maybe 2 cocktails.
Right.
Didn't know how to make them. He knew them though.
Right. So I gotta say, I feel like we would make great rum judges. And me just standing at the table, and then I say to rum like, this rum is bad.
And I would say, this rum is good.
This rum is good. Rum.
What's funny is I want to find the rum where that's the same rum and that's the answers you give.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? So we got a good question.
No, like bad and good is relative. And I think that every rum has an application. And if you think a rum is bad, you're putting it in the wrong thing.
I agree.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said.
Yes.
So you've got a question here?
So we got a question that came in here from the Two Rivers. Which rum brands, and I love it because Nia's like, how much time do we have? We only have an hour. But the Two Rivers asked, which rum brands are best without additives added, the coloring and added flavors? What is the best rums?
The best
without that?
The best natural rum.
Right.
Well, good luck. Unless you're adding flavors and coloring yourself, you're talking about the guys who are doing it at the factory, right? Well,
exactly.
Best is always relative, and it's a tricky term to answer, right? But look, if someone is going to great extremes to be honest on their label, then they're worth your time. And if they're not, they might still be worth your time. Like I said, it's a question of application, right? I don't think there are bad rums. I think that's a myth. It's like white people. No, you mean German or Irish or, it's not a thing. It's a myth. That's not a term you can apply to stuff. There's no dark rum. There's no bad rum. There is what you've done with it. What's the best? For my money, Bourbon Court 15. Can I just go back to that again?
We just did Bourbon Court 15 the other day. I think it's a phenomenal rum. I think it's really good. Rum. I think I'm a pretty big bourbon barrel guy. So for me, I like the Real McCoy coming out of Four Squares Distillery. I'm a big love. Yeah, right. I mean, I love their 5 and 12 year, the Real McCoy. That would be my pick because I'm a big bourbon guy. I don't know about you, but
you're a big bourbon guy. Can I jump in and make a recommendation?
Absolutely.
For a real American rum that's very in your vein, in your style, you should check out Richland from Georgia.
Yes. So we had Richland when we were in 2019. Richland was at Miami Rum Fest.
Yep.
And so we did try Richland's rum while we were there.
Yes.
They're using the same barrel makers as Maker's Mark.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I did not know that. See,
I could kind of tell when I tasted it. I'm like, that tastes an awful lot like Maker's to me.
They're out
only
of Georgia,
more rummy.
Okay?
Richland, Georgia,
right? Yeah,
Richland, Georgia.
I love that too because my thing
nothing added, no funny business. 6 months in a barrel.
Yeah, we're seeing so much of the American rums taking on this whiskey flavors, bourbon flavors, using these barrels, doing that stuff, and I really like that. So I want to,
like Dad said last week, there's rum that tastes like everything else. There are no other things that taste like rum.
Yeah,
what a coincidence.
Exactly.
And I love that. So
100%.
So I know we got you here. I know you've been a mixologist. You've been trained by some. So I want to ask, what's the cocktail of choice, and what do you use? What is those rum cocktails that are really fun to blend some of these rums into? What are you trying it with?
What's your go-to?
Oh man. Okay, my go-to, if I'm just gonna have some rum, honestly, my favorite thing to pull out of my collection is Dos Maderas 5+5.
See,
but the Bourbon Court 15 is every day, but
I love that.
Dos Maderas 5+5, I don't need anything else.
Yes.
I don't need anything else.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Big block of ice.
Yes, I agree 100%. I love the Dos Maderas 5+5.
Every sip of that is a journey.
It is.
There's layers to it.
Yes.
You got to peel it apart.
Yes.
And just the amount of change that it goes through with the amount of dilution from a big ice cube is good enough to keep the pickiest rum guy, I think. It should be enough to keep you interested.
Yeah, exactly.
However, I should point out that I challenged myself of like, okay, how would I mix this? And you know what's really funny?
Yeah.
I used all the cheater ingredients I had in my collection to make a punch. All right. Now, when I say cheater ingredients, I mean, there are some things that you just cannot make a bad drink with.
Okay.
Like Taylor's Velvet Falernum. I've yet to make a bad drink with that.
Okay.
I could save drinks that were starting to like get to insert here by adding Taylor's Velvet Falernum. So some Taylor's Velvet Falernum, pardon me for a second. I'm trying to get the gears going into my memory here. Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur.
Yep.
And some Welch's passion fruit juice. Don't judge. It is a great mixer.
Huh.
It's very neutral. Passion fruit nectar can be sour, bitter, too sweet to try to cancel those out. But Welch's passion fruit juice is like half white grape. So it's already a filler. So it's already kind of neutral balance.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of lemon juice to kind of go with the whole notes of dark, rich, like apricot kind of notes that you would get out of Dos Maderas. But you see, that's just it. You can't just have one rum in there. You're supposed to put rums in together.
Right.
So that they sing like a chorus. So I picked this one from Venezuela, Santa Teresa Claro. It's not aged for more than about 5 years, 6 years, something along those lines. But they don't filter it back to completely clear. They leave it about straw colored. And the notes on it aren't as brash as a clear rum, a young rum, an unaged rum. They're much more complex than an unaged rum. But there's still those kind of high notes that you would have from that. And they work together, Dos Maderas and Claro, in a 1-2 in a really interesting way that's a lot like Mick Jagger in front and, the Dream Girls singing behind him.
Love it.
And that's the way I like to think about this stuff is you got to think about what chords you want to hit on the palate.
Yep.
What rums go as contrasting, but together.
Yes.
Right.
As a chorus. That's the real trick to rum mixology is knowing enough of the rums to go, this one and this one are going to go well with the rest of these ingredients.
Yep. Yes. 100%.
You got to hit those different notes.
No, I love that.
Just right, because if you're discordant, it's not going to work, right?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So we got a couple of people jumping in here talking about some of these rums that they're hooked on. So Mount Gay is fire. We got people talking about that they're using rum as a side to their meal, which obviously it should just be the main course. I don't know why it's the side. Let's see here.
Yeah, more like the meal is the side. Am
Exactly.
I right?
Exactly. Got Dr. Stoner's on the way, Tony. I can't wait for you to try it. It's going to be amazing. So Robert Burr, the man himself, your dad, has chimed in that the best value in good rum might be Dorley's 12 from Foursquare.
So we have not had the opportunity.
We haven't had Dorley's yet.
We have not had Dorley's.
We have not had Dorley's.
A lot of people suggest to us Dorley's.
We've had a lot of stuff out of Foursquare, the real McCoys, the Foursquare products themselves, but we have not had Dorley's.
It's really tough for us here because we're in Iowa. And,
no, Total Wine, I think it.
It's just it's not the same as it is down in Florida or even
Illinois. Yeah, there's a store here that carries that called Total Wine, and that makes it easy for me to go down the street and get it.
Yep.
Exactly.
And they have it in big handle bottles if you're really thirsty.
You're just showing off now, Rob.
Bragging a little bit.
Just loading now, Rob.
I love it. So we got people talking about cocktails in here. Greg is saying there's a lot of good cocktails, but Plantation OFTD in the Dark and Stormy is his favorite. Do you have a cocktail that is your favorite that you tend to make that you go to with these rums?
Can I just explain something? One of my favorite cocktails of all time is the original cocktail. Do you know what I mean by that? Do you know what the first cocktail was? The thing that created the category of cocktail? The thing that still should be the thing that is the original cocktail?
What was it?
If it doesn't have all these ingredients, it's not a cocktail. The old fashioned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do that with a lot
of
the
real old fashioned. All right. I just spent 4 years in the Midwest, being in Columbus, Ohio. And I saw guys put half of a fruit basket inside there. That's not an old fashioned. Okay. Orange peel is the most fruit that should be in there.
Yeah, I love orange peel.
Sugar, bitters, spirit, and water. And the water can be added in the form of ice. But they didn't have a lot of that when they invented the old fashioned, or as it was originally called, the cocktail.
Yes.
Which became the old fashioned cocktail and then just the old fashioned.
Yep.
Yes.
I know the guy who did all the research on this. And if you want to know him too, go check out David Wondrich. He writes stuff for Esquire and has written many good books, including one of my favorites, Punch, the entire history of Punch. If you haven't read it yet, dude, go find Libby and rent it from your library. Okay. I mean, it's an app on everybody's phone now. You can get Punch. I promise you.
That's cool.
That is cool.
That's very cool. The one thing that I know in talking with you in the past, Rob, is that you have just a wide knowledge of some of this history, and it's really great.
Yeah, I just remember some things that some guys told me when we were drinking, I mean.
That's how we learn too.
I know, right?
Just what some guys tell us while we're drinking,
Sense memory.
Like right now.
Sense memory. There's a reason I drink when I'm talking about this stuff. I got to remember what we were talking about when we were drinking.
Yep.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So Fred is yelling at us that Eldo 12, the El Dorado 12, is his favorite rum. He loves that. Obviously, a very great rum.
Everyone's entitled to their favorites, and that's a great one to have as a favorite.
Yep. Absolutely.
I used to like the El Dorado 15 more than the 12.
Oh, do you?
So I'm a bigger fan of the 12.
But a long time ago, it used to be drier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't you think
one was drier and one was sweeter, and I liked the drier one.
So don't you think that over a period of time, sometimes they change up the recipes a little bit and the techniques?
Yeah, I mean it's only 15 years old that year, and then the next year it's a different 15-year-old, and the next year it's a different 15-year-old, and the next year how do you think they make the same one? No, it doesn't work like that. Ask Jack how they make the same thing over and over. I don't get it. Except that you blend the living hell out of everything, right? And then you can't put an age statement. It's old number 7, not 7 year, right? So
it is old number 7.
There's good and bad about having an age statement. There's good and bad about not having an age statement. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm just going to point out, there's no bad rum. There's just bad application of it.
So speaking of the age statement, okay, hang on. You got a question? Okay, so I've got a question.
Why are you the way that you are?
Where do
you get off?
Really good question.
It's the first question I asked myself in the morning.
I'm not sure.
Why are any of us the way that we are?
I blame the rum.
I need more rum to answer that correctly. I was never a philosophy major, but I hung out with some.
So seriously, I do have a question for you. And I think I'm talking to the right person. Okay.
By the way, just as a quick nod, I'm currently drinking Stades.
So I have seen this come up a bunch. I'm going to let you ask your question, but I want to come back to that.
Okay. I get to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about Florida Cana.
Okay.
So
Kanya.
So my understanding is that they used to have, for example, this is 12. Okay.
12 años, yes?
Yes. So yes.
Means years.
No, this says single estate 12. Centenario. Oh.
Centenario?
Yes.
Centenario.
There you go. So is that actually years or is that just
If it doesn't say años, it's not years.
Yeah, it's
If
not
it doesn't
years.
say years, it's not years.
Didn't they get in back a few years? Didn't they get into a little bit of trouble over their
Doesn't
labeling?
everybody?
Yeah. I know they
At
did
some
at one
point.
point.
Look, I think that it's great that people are really getting into rum, but I think there's some people who take it so seriously and so literally when people are like, look, it has to be exactly this way. Celebrate the differences. If they take years off of it, oh no, boo hiss, we've lost a great, no, you still have that rum. It's just not 12 year anymore.
Right.
Like I said, how does Jack stay the same Jack?
Exactly.
It's the same stuff.
So
Let's not be too highbrow about this. None of us are
Exactly.
above drinking it. If it's good, you like it, drink it.
And what I don't
Is it a bad
Rob,
thing?
that's
They
where
dropped
we
the
come from.
years qualification? No, it's just different now.
And so what I don't really get about like rum and everything is like it's kind of the Wild West. Like the labeling is off. People aren't putting stuff on. But why not just be open about it? Because the people that are looking for your rums are going to go for it. So like, why are you trying to get to a group of people that aren't looking?
I'm 39 now, right? And I was 15 when I started or whatever,
Yeah.
Look, a lot has changed just at the time I've been paying attention. And I still maintain that sorry, some of the rum is starting to get to me. I still maintain
that happens.
It's always going to keep changing. Rum is always going to keep changing. There are some really old ones that I lament that are gone, but I celebrate their passing, not denigrate what's left of it. You know what I mean? You can either be positive about this or negative about this. I choose to try to stay positive. But yeah, it happens a lot. I remember the old Zacapa.
Okay.
And now I've been to the new Zacapa in person.
Okay.
And I think it's still an amazing rum. Am I going to say anything negative about the differences? No. I'm going to celebrate the fact that I still have one old bottle here at my dad's place and still drink the new stuff. But to be fair, I prefer the XO.
Yes.
To the 21. Yeah. And is it 21 years if it's been in that barrel and this barrel and that barrel and this barrel and it's mixed together? I don't know. Do we need to be sticklers about it? Do you like it? Cool. If you don't, drink something else.
Right.
Stop complaining about it. There's so much stuff to get into and be happy about.
Yes.
It's not, let's not focus on the fact that this one does it in this style and that one's this Solera and who cares? Do you like it? I can tell you what to put in it to mix it. I could definitely tell you that. I can tell you that will sing better with these kind of ingredients. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you pick a thing right now, I can tell you 4 drinks that it will go better in than a different 4 drinks, and 2 other rums that will go better with it as contrast chorus singers. But that's my thing is like, I like, and converting people from like, oh, I only drink whiskey. Oh, cool. Well, you should really try this thing. Well, I only drink gin.
I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
I got a British gin drinker who was like, listen, don't even bother with that rum thing. Okay. You're never going to convert me. I'm like, okay. And I let him forget about it. And it was my turn to show up with a bottle of something at his house. And I brought Florida Cana 4-year extra dry when it was still 4-year, admittedly, but it was the white extra dry. And I kept it in a paper bag and I poured it and we all sipped it. And he was like, damn, that's good gin. Where's that from? I'm like, it's Nicaraguan gin. They call it Ron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He didn't believe me until he had more out of the bottle.
Yes. So,
but I love that. I love because there's a rum for that is what I used to always say.
Yes.
There's a rum for that.
There
is.
There always is.
Even if you're into Scotch was the hardest one for me to break But the guys at Brugal have a deal with the guys at why can't I think of it? One of the big brands of scotch, and I can't think of it. James? I don't know. Don't quote me, okay? The guys at Brugal have a deal with, and they get their used barrels. So guess what? Some of them are used sherry finish barrels. So you get sherry notes and scotch notes and rum notes.
Oh, wow.
Well, what better thing could you use to convert a scotch drinker, right? You're never going to get
absolutely
otherwise.
See, this is what I like about rum that a lot of people don't understand is that rum can take on the notes of any other liquor that's out there. And this is what I love
allowed to use anybody's barrel.
Exactly. And so this is what's really cool is everybody who's like, I'm not a rum drinker because all they've had is the big brands that they know.
They've been on a cruise ship.
But here's the thing. You come in with one of those rums that's been aged in those barrels that has been taken into a sherry cask, into a bourbon barrel, into a scotch barrels. Yep. And all of a sudden they're like, wow.
Slovenian Ashwood. Yeah, no, it's weird.
It's so good.
But
so good.
The weirder,
amazing.
The more interesting to us old snobs. Experts. Snobs was right the first time.
See, that's why we're not experts,
Macallan,
right?
Thank you, Macallan. My dad just came over and was like, "It's Macallan." So
coming in clutch. I love it. It's coming in clutch.
And Brugal are the guys that have the agreement, and it's amazing stuff. If you like Macallan, if you like Lefroy, hey, I don't know what I can do to help you.
So I want to play a little game here. So you've obviously, so correct me if I'm wrong, you've met a few mixologists and had a few cocktails made for you out of the day. So I'd like to play a game.
I could name names, but it seems petty.
If you're up for playing a game, I'd like to play a game. So if anybody in the comments would like to post their favorite cocktail, I would like you to match your favorite rums for that cocktail. Is that fair?
Okay, that I could do. I thought you were gonna name the ingredients. I'm like, oh shit.
No. Not the ingredients, just what rums you would use for that cocktail. So if anybody in the comments right now has a cocktail that they like to make, they have their favorites, throw it up there right now.
Can I throw out a great example of one I converted from it wasn't rum and now it is?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so there's a fun little ditty from Jeff Morgenthaler. Have you heard of him? He's out of Portland.
No.
Nope.
Small Screen Network still has this video up. I highly recommend you go and take a look at it. It's one of my favorite holiday drinks of all time, because of Mr. Morgenthaler. And I still call him Mr. Morgenthaler, even though I met him like at my third Tales of the Cocktail. He's like, "Hey, you're Rob Bird." I'm like, you mean you're looking for my, no, you're the mixologist guy. And I'm like, where's the camera? You're pranking me. There's no way you know who the fuck I am. But I digress. Jeff Morgenthaler had this bit about Brandy Alexander's, and thereby the original Alexander, from whence that came, right? Okay. The original Alexander is equal parts gin, cream. Don't use cream. God, don't use cream. Use half and half for God's sake. And creme de cacao. Equal parts. You could use literally anything to mix this, and as long as it's equal parts, you won't mess this up. All right.
Okay.
It's creamy, but without being sweet. It's gin and light creme de cacao. I mean, you could use the dark stuff, but it tends to be sweeter. But they balance out, and the half and half is just there to be a medium. So I was like, I can do this. I know I can do this with rum. And the best version of it I ever did was, hey, do you guys remember that Silver Ray chocolate you just had, the Silver Ray cacao?
Yes, absolutely.
Guess what I did? So I took Caña Brava, which is a great Carta Blanca Cuban white style, like what Bacardi was in the 50s, right? And the Silver Ray cacao, and half, equal parts. Shake it, strain it, serve it. It's my favorite holiday drink ever. And okay, so if that's an Alexander, and then there's a Brandy Alexander, I guess that makes this the Ron Alejandro in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I call it. It's the Ron Alejandro.
Nice.
And it's what I make every year for the holidays, because I can actually have more than one without wanting to get sick. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I still wouldn't want to have 6. And I definitely wouldn't want to have, you'll get this joke after you watch the Jeff Morgenthaler thing. I definitely wouldn't want to have 3 blenders full. But look, rum can be conversion from any other thing. And that's just one example. If I went with something that was dry and maybe a little peppery on the palate to match what a gin would try to be. It's not the same, but that's the point. I'm trying to do similar thing with a different spirit, my spirit, rum.
That's awesome.
I love it. So we got a few cocktails here we're going to go through.
Okay.
Obviously, your dad set you up here. So we got number one, the Hemingway Daiquiri.
Already has rum in it.
It's a trick question.
Trick question.
But what rum would I use? Okay. Well, if you can still find Caña Brava, I would still use that.
Okay.
It's undoubtedly still in some stores somewhere, but I think the brand has let the rum go and kept their gin and vodka. But it was a very good rum. If you can't get that, go with something light and bright and peppery, or at the very least, dry and yet buttery.
Okay.
And what are good examples of that? Let's see. The Florida Caña 4 white. You could also try, if you get your hands on it from Canada, say, for instance, Havana Club 7.
Are you familiar with the Puerto Angel white?
Puerto Angel.
Yeah.
Sí, claro.
Yes.
Puerto Angel from, you know what? It's got this weird smoky texture that reminds me of mezcal.
Yes.
So when you say buttery, that's the first rum that always comes to my head when I think buttery.
This one right here.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that, I guess, but it's definitely got such a smoky note to it. But that white would be good for that. Yeah. You could make Hemingways with that, and you would not be disappointed. You wouldn't kick it out of bed.
Nice. So we got another rum on the another rum cocktail on the way.
Let me see if there's an inspiration behind me for what else I would use.
So we got a couple other cocktails, so I want to hit into too. So
sure. Let me give you one last thing, mostly as a shout out to my friends in Pittsburgh. And hang on, it's a little too tall, and I got to move other stuff out of the way. There we go. How do you feel about Hidden Harbor? You ever heard of it?
I haven't had Hidden Harbor.
We have not.
Well, it's a blend of rums from Jamaica, Guyana, Martinique, Barbados, Trinidad, and Pennsylvania.
That's a heck of a
Pennsylvania.
blend. Oh, Pennsylvania.
And Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so
why not?
Caribbean islands.
There's a really good rum in Pittsburgh. If you haven't had it, look it up. It's called Maggie's Farm.
Maggie's Farm.
And
so that's on our docket. That's coming up here soon.
We do have Maggie's Farm
they
coming
made
up.
this specifically for the bar called Hidden Harbor in Pittsburgh. And this is probably the best thing on my shelf I could grab to do Hemingways with.
Cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Okay,
so we got another one here. So we got somebody asking, what's the rum you would use for
and Rob,
zombie?
To point out, Plantation 3-star would be good for that too. Okay, so a zombie is a trick question. You can't use one rum for a zombie. You can't. Okay. It literally calls for 3 of them in the original 1934 recipe. I know my stuff. You can't stump me with this.
I love it. That's why we asked.
So
awesome. That's why
the 1934 zombie was forgotten for a long time and rediscovered thanks to all the efforts of probably 12 or 13 years worth of looking into this stuff by one Jeff Beachbum Berry.
Oh,
and if you don't have his books, get one for your shelf, okay? And if you can't get his book, get his app. Yeah, there you go. That's the zombie blend. So, hey, you know what would be the best thing you could ever use? The zombie blend, all right? Let me just plug my buddy Jeff's rum real quick. But the original rums it called for was a dark Jamaican, a gold Puerto Rican, I think. It might have been light Puerto Rican, don't quote me. And only one rum was ever called for by name in any of Don the Beachcomber's recipes. Lemon Heart 151.
Oh,
really?
Very nice.
Very so all nice. 3 of those, right? But let's think about why he was picking these for the zombie. The rest of the flavors in there are grapefruit and cinnamon and ginger and lime and allspice that's the falernum and the Don's mix. And there's a little floater, like 6 drops of absinthe on top. It's really more for the aroma. But these are the things it's competing with. How the hell is any one rum going to compete with all that boisterous flavor in there?
Oh,
I mean, cinnamon alone has the possibility of taking over the entire thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it has to be a trio. It has to be a light column style, Spanish style, to complement the dark pot still style. So yeah, really easy to do Puerto Rican and Jamaican, but you could just as easily do Venezuelan and Barbados. I mean, it's about the styles, not the specific places, right? But are there substitutes for lemon 151? Maybe a handful. Maybe one with another Hamilton label on it. Maybe the new lemon art is kind of close to what it used to be back in the day. Maybe it took them a couple of tries to get back there, but I'm really glad to have it back. Maybe some stuff out of, oddly enough, Germany called Tiki Lovers Dark.
Yeah,
there's some options.
Actually had some of that. Yeah,
but it needs to be as rich as it is high proof.
Okay.
That's the hard part of trying to substitute Lemon Heart 151. It's so remarkably overpowering in flavor that you don't notice right away that it's 151.
Sounds like we need to get that picked up.
Gotta get it.
I'm
a big fan of the Crucian Hurricane Proof because it's not 151, and I think it has more flavor to it. And I actually really like the flavors out of the Hurricane Proof much more than I actually like most 151s. That's my thing.
Now,
I'm a sweet, smooth rum guy, so like I like that flavor.
Crucian actually has a 151
right
there, right?
But I like the Hurricane Proof
along with Gosling's. Gosling's has a 151 as well.
Oh, the Gosling's 151 is like cheating. You want to talk about rich and flavorful and still kicks your ass.
There you go.
That's where it's at. I like flavor. I'm a big flavor person.
Yep.
Gosling's was there at one of my first rum tastings as a, we might not count your scores, kid, but go ahead and sit in there, right? And I remember going out for the break and like everyone kind of gathers on a patio because one guy was smoking a cigar during his tasting, and I'm not going to judge, right? But I got out there and I'm just like I couldn't contain myself. The second I walk out there, I'm like, was it just me or was number 7 like bananas Fosters in a glass? What the hell was that? And they all looked at me like, did someone tell you to say that? And I'm like, no. What was it? And they're like, Gosling's. It tastes like that. And I'm like, cool. I'm writing that one down. That one's going home with me.
Yeah. I love it. So my rum diaries is taking off. We'll see you, Neil. We're glad to stop by.
Thank you so much for joining us.
The next drink on your list is the let's see here, the best rum with a sour.
I mean, in my humble opinion, every rum is made to go with a sour.
Really? Okay.
If every spirit can be put in an old fashioned, one of the pieces that you have to have in an old fashioned is orange oil from the peel.
Yep.
Kind of makes it any rum, right? I mean, there's probably exceptions. You wouldn't want to put rum chata with sour.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, and is rum
unless you want to make a cement mixer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a debate whether or not rum chata is really considered a rum, anyhow. But
it's got rum in it.
Yes, it does have rum in it.
Is some people's favorite. Don't knock it.
No, I'm not knocking it.
That's what you like. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying there are people out there on this internet thing that are like, oh, rum chata. That stuff is great.
It is.
Again, the proper application of it in something else. What if I put that in a Ron Alejandro, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could see that in there. I could absolutely see that in there. So funny story. So when I've really first started really getting into the rum, my wife kind of joined me a little bit, but she was really interested, in the rum chata as well.
What's this note you just passed me about how much you hate rum chata? Was I supposed to get that?
No, I do not hate rum chata.
Okay.
I do not hate rum chata. Rum chata is just like every rum has its place. It really does.
Yes, exactly.
And Rob, you and us,
there's a rum for that.
We are so much on the same page. If you enjoy it, you drink it. don't let somebody tell you that you're doing it wrong. If you're enjoying it, enjoy it. You bought the damn bottle.
That's
Why the
the
hell
whole
would you
point.
not enjoy it?
That's
right?
the whole point. Yes, exactly.
Right. So, so one of the things that I do want to kind of break in here for a minute, and I want to remind everyone that's watching is that you do have you and your dad and family have a rum event coming up November 12th and 13th,
and we will be there.
We will be there
both days.
November 13th and November 12th for the seminars. Be sure to check out Cane to Glass, brought to you by West Indies Rum Distilleries, which you wanted to ask me about Stades earlier. That's who makes that. Yes. West Indies Rum Distillery. Word.
So I have seen so much come up about the Stades rum and everything. So so we haven't had it.
My dad wanted me to show you this, by the way.
The Red Heart original.
Original.
Okay.
Same guys who make Lemon Heart.
Okay. So I want to find out a little bit more about the Stades. So we've been seeing this come up on your guys' rum groups and pages. Can you tell us a little bit about Stades rum, what it is, where it comes from, what's it about?
Well, I said it's from West Indies Rum Distillery, which is in Barbados. And they're one of the biggest rum producers out there. And they happen to make a lot of the stuff for plantation. And I don't want to say something incorrect. So I'm going to stop myself there and say, if you're going to be at the Rum Festival, you got to talk to them. You got to come and see them because they'll be there.
We will.
Done. We will do that.
And get it right from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
Maybe even on tape.
We will definitely be finding out more from them.
So I do have a question for you, Rob. So what would you consider to be like the homeland of rum? For us, for me personally, I can kind of consider Barbados.
I think I can confidently say Earth.
Well, okay.
Good call.
There you go.
Good call.
There you go.
Yes.
What is the homeland for rum? There's some evidence that China did it before us. There's some evidence that India did it before us.
I'm feeling like that's fake news.
Fake news. That can't be real.
I'm not sure.
Was it rum? No, I'm pretty sure that name came from the term rum bullion, which was the cause of ruckus in a bar or something along those lines. Exactly. I'm not a historian. Don't quote me.
Well, we're quoting you, Rob.
That's exactly right.
What was the thing Eazy-E said back in the NWA days? Don't quote me, boy. I ain't said shit.
I love it. So Greg's asking a great question. We've had a rum on the show that me and Royer weren't the most fond of. We had it recently and we're still not the most fond of. And I see Robert, your dad jumped in.
What's that about Jane Fonda?
Yeah. Said it's a good blend. But what would you do with Black Heart rum? Have you had Black Heart rum?
Okay.
I think I have, although I might have blacked it out. No, that's spiced rum, right?
What was that?
No, that's that spiced rum, right?
It is a spiced rum. So it is a 93 proof rum with spice, caramel, color, and other natural flavors. The Sexy Pirate might jog your memory.
Right. So listen, here's one of the things that I like to do with spiced rum. Pour it directly in the. No, I'm kidding. You know that thing you guys do on your
garbage
channel?
Disposal.
I didn't say it. You said it. All right. But no, listen. That thing you guys do on your channel, I really appreciate it. Don't let anyone ever change your mind about this. Don't let anyone give you about it. That thing where you mix it with Coke and mix it with Pepsi.
Yes.
Look, that's important to a big crowd. Yeah. There's a large population of rum drinkers that still mix it with Coke and still mix it with Pepsi, and they need to know.
Absolutely.
How is it?
Absolutely.
And I like my drinks a little less sweet. I like my drinks kind of actually, perfectly honest, balanced on a knife edge. But we'll get to how I mix drinks in a second. I have a whole method to teach you. That's the secret key to how to never make a bad drink again. But going back, what would I mix Black Heart with? Honestly, probably either Pepsi or Mountain Dew. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just don't want to think, you just want to drink.
Yes, exactly. And it seems like it's an inexpensive mixer. It goes into a pop. I agree. You got to get it into something quick.
On that note, my friends once asked me when I was just getting into this rum thing and first started calling myself tentatively a rum expert. They said, why do you care? Why do you care about rum and rum cocktails? I said, dude, do you eat at Burger King every night? Or do you sometimes maybe go to a real restaurant and have like a steak?
Yes.
That's why I care.
Exactly.
I care for the same reasons people cook at home and don't eat at Burger King every night, or once in a while treat themselves to a fancy restaurant, or let someone else do the cooking, period.
Yes.
I care for the same reason. I'd rather have 3 really good drinks and call it a night than 15 rum and cokes. But that's just me.
Yep.
That's like my humble opinion.
I do get it.
So I want to teach you my secret method.
Okay.
That isn't secret at all.
Yes.
And is completely stolen.
Let's hear it.
Teach us all. Teach us all, Rob.
There's an old Jamaican rhyme, although Barbados also lays claim to it.
Okay.
That goes 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, and 4 of weak. This is ratio.
Okay.
This is how to properly make a punch.
Okay.
And my buddy Ian likes to add, Ian Burrell, 5 of spice to make it nice. He doesn't mean 5 parts of spice. God help us. But step 5, add some spice to make it nice.
Yes.
But otherwise, the rest of it is ratios. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak. Now, what does weak mean? That's an interesting question. I've spent the last 20 years trying to hack that. What does weak mean? They wrote that rhyme somewhere in the late 1600s, early 1700s.
Okay.
So weak meant water. There was no frickin' ice on Barbados at the time, okay? Or Jamaica. I don't care what they tell you.
Okay.
No one brought the ice truck down the street, okay? But there was water and there was tea. And if you were really lucky, there might have been some juice, maybe even watered down juice.
Okay.
Right. But it was generally water or tea. And again, look at Dave Wondrich's book Punch for more information on this, because he can tell you exactly what, where, when, and why, and who did this awful thing to us. But the point is, if you follow those ratios, even just tinkering with them, even just kind of close on them, you will never make a bad drink in your life again.
Nice.
That's awesome.
No more Kool-Aid. No more high C.
Yeah.
Put that stuff down. Follow the simple ratio. And I'd like to give you guys one of, I think I kind of already did, but I'd like to give you the exact specifications for one of my drinks. I talked about it earlier, the Dos Madeiras one.
Yes.
Now, I want to say the drink is called the Richard Mull is the Devil.
Oh, really?
Okay.
It's called that because I had this thing called Tiki Horror Night that I was doing at the time.
Okay.
Where we would put on a really bad horror movie and make fun of it. Like we were Mystery Science Theater 3000.
We used to do that very same thing. So I did that
while making
high
tiki
school.
drinks.
I had a group of friends. We did that exact same thing with.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm my buddy a buddy of mine named Captain Dapper. He's not his real name. We just call him that. He came over, and like, we really kind of guys who can have a conversation that is just movie quotes, but still contain information that we're conveying to each other back and forth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We would watch Mystery Science Theater 3000 religiously at my apartment. And then sometimes we would throw on like, oh my God, you haven't seen, I gotta show you this movie. It's so bad, you're gonna love it. And so we started doing that every Tuesday night. And I was like, look, if we're gonna do this at my place, and I would grab a random book off the shelf and go, flip to a page, I'm gonna make that drink. And so he would go there, and I'm like, cool. And then I would prepare everything. We would make that drink, and we would get blasted watching a bad movie. And he'd walk his happy ass home, and I'd crash on the couch. You know what I mean?
So I've got a question. So let's get back to this Richard Mull drink. So
thank you.
I have a suspicion that I know the movie that you're talking about. That you
do you?
Yes.
Are you an old Mythbusters fan too?
Well, so I'm gonna take a stab at it, and anybody that's watching, please take a stab at what you think your guess is for the movie that Richard Mull was in that he's making this drink about, right? Okay, I'm gonna guess House.
No, but
really?
Yes. Great movie, great bad movie.
Yes. So you know the one that I'm talking about, then, right?
Oh yeah, no, I know House. I don't think Richard
Okay.
Mall was in that one.
Yes,
But
yes.
House and House 2 did have two different guys from Cheers discuss.
Yes.
I'll see you in the comments about that later. But no, it was Dungeon Master. And the reason I mentioned Mythbusters because Adam Savage was famous for quoting it all the time of, I reject your reality and substitute my own, which was a quote from that movie.
You are right.
I
Yes.
remember that line.
I remember that.
I do remember that line.
That is hilarious.
So I don't remember what the punch was called before this moment, but at some point, Richard Mall appears in a puff of red smoke, wearing red velvet with two little budding horns on his head, like they hadn't poked through yet, and slicked back hair. And he goes, I am Mistima. And the main character has this talking Nintendo Power Glove that goes, Mistima, Satan, the devil. Thank God you told us. I never would have guessed. Oh my God. It's racking my brain. So I don't know what it was called before, but instantly we were like, we're renaming this punch Richard Mall is the devil.
Very nice.
Into your largest container, because it will make, in fact, a very large amount. 25 ounces of Dos Maderas 5+5. 50 ounces of Santa Teresa Claro, or substitute those at your own risk. You want a sherry finished rum, preferably something that's been in Barbados or Guyana or both. And you want something light, but not unaged, not sweet, but not so dry as to knock the other rum out, right? There's your suggestions for that. But I used Dos Maderas and Santa Teresa Claro, 25 ounces of lemon juice. Notice already off the bat, what I started with was 3 of strong.
Yep.
Right, so I'm at 75 ounces of strong already. So of course it has to be 25 ounces of lemon juice. It goes with the Dos Maderas as a good contrast. Now this is where it gets weird. 37.5 ounces of falernum. It's like a bottle and a half, right?
Okay.
And then 6 1/4 ounces of Saint Germain, because that stuff is very strong to take over very easily.
Yes.
100 ounces of Welch's passion fruit juice. I used it as the weak. It was the weak, because it is weak. It's flavored weak. I dare anyone to tell me otherwise. And then 5 of spice to make it nice. So I did 1 entire ounce of El Immaculate Tiki Bitters from Bitterman's Bitters, New York. This is also cheating, because just like the Welch's was cheating, just like the falernum was cheating, El Immaculate Tiki Bitters is bitters based on the flavors of the original zombie. It's cinnamon and anise and grapefruit. It's cheating. But it's only an ounce of it because it's very strong and it's bitters, and it's really meant to be more about the nose smell. So you add it last after you're done stirring and all that, but it's just a little accent. It's a, do I detect an accent of, yes, you do. That's it. You know, pour a cup with ice and ladle some of that sucker in, and you are good to go.
So that sounds like an amazing punch. It really does. Seriously. I think
it's the one I still get calls about. If people call me in the middle of the night, what was that punch again? Richard Mall is the devil. Yeah. What was that one?
So we've got it. It's going to be here.
It's here. It's on the channel.
It's on the channel. We'll be able to all make it now. Right?
I love it.
But it's a great example of 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak. It literally followed the formula to a T and used all my favorite cheaters that can't go wrong to make a punch. And that's just how simple it is, guys. I mean, really, look at what you have on your shelf and go, I could work with that.
That sounds simply amazing. I think we need to make a batch of that.
Yes.
I think we need to throw like a rum party.
Yes.
And let's just make this happen.
Rum party.
Yeah. And put on Dungeon Master and make fun of it.
Oh yeah.
November 12th, rum party in Miami. That's what I'm hearing.
There you go.
That's what I'm hearing.
Listen, I'll send you guys my room number at the hotel. We'll
sounds good.
We'll do our own Tiki Horror Night.
I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna wind things down here. I really appreciate Rob being here and sharing some of your knowledge with us.
I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna say, Rob, would you be willing to? Hey, Rum Scout, Rum Scout,
Rum Scout, baby.
logo right
It's hard
there.
because the camera wants to follow me, but that's the Rum Scout logo. I got it tattooed to me too.
Yes,
My
that's the
pirate
Rum
flag,
Scout
as it were.
logo. And so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Rob, would you be interested in joining us again at some point?
Nah.
No,
okay.
he's done.
Okay,
He's done.
fine. All right, that's the way you're
Forget
gonna be.
this show.
Sure.
You guys don't know anything.
What was your name again? Who are you guys? What's going on here?
I'm Bill.
How did I get here? I'm not sure.
You can call me Bill now.
Yeah, Bill.
No, watch. You're gonna come up later and be like, "Hey, man, we met online. I'm Robert." And I'm like, "No, I'm Robert. No, I'm Robert. No, I'm Robert."
You know, I've said this. It's funny. I said this off camera last week. I was like, "There's too many Roberts in rum. What are we doing here?" It's like it's a qualification for your name to be Robert to enjoy rum. What the
Well,
heck
listen,
is going
we're
on?
all Rob the Rum Guy. That's the thing that I love is going by Rob the Rum Guy to people who are laymen. And they're like, "Hey, it's Rob the Rum Guy." I'm like, "Yeah, but listen,
Yeah,
that's not
that's
instructions.
me. Obviously,
Sure.
That's not instructions.
I'm not Rob the rum guy. That's not me. I'm
Don't
Robert,
rob the rum guy.
the
Meet
slightly
Rob the
guy
rum
who
guy.
drinks rum on your YouTube channel guy. That rolls
I've
right
been
off the
informed that I can't leave without showing you guys my chest tattoo.
Let's see it. We want to
Let's
see
see
it.
it.
Did
Let's
you hear
get
about
the
this?
chest
We know
tattoo.
everybody wants to
Let's
see
go.
it.
We want to see the chest
do it.
tattoo.
Anyone
have
who
to.
doesn't remember that the reason I'm a rum expert is because of barbering cord. So you
Yes.
should be able to
Yes.
recognize the logo now, right?
Yep.
Yep. Here we go.
Here we go.
Boom.
Yeah, baby.
Rum barbing court.
Yeah.
We love it. I don't
My
have
guardian
that tattoo.
angel.
I
My
love
guardian
it.
angel now.
I
That
love
is
it.
awesome.
That is really awesome. Rob, I really appreciate you joining us, sharing some insight into some info
Yes.
that you've learned along the
We
years.
definitely look forward to meeting you.
We can't wait to be in Miami with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Listen, guys, if anyone in the audience has further questions, annoy me online. Rob
Yes.
at rumscout.com.
There you go.
There you go.
Rob at
Rob.
rumscout.com.
Yep.
There
In
it
the past
is.
life, I was an Eagle Scout. Now I drink too much rum. So rumscout, spelled like you think, .com. And my number is rum27 drink.
There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Leave
Rum
me
27
voicemail.
drink.
I love
So
it.
Rum27 drink. There's so much rum in Miami. They made the area code spell rum. I kid you not.
That's amazing. I love it. That's so great.
We belong there.
I know we belong there. We're
Right?
gonna be there. So hey, I wanna
I'll hold
say
the
thank
space for you.
again. Thank you so much for joining us here. I want to throw a couple of things out here. Next week is going to be live. We will be back with our show. Is my birthday.
It's your birthday?
It's my birthday next Wednesday.
Wow.
We will be doing a birthday spectacular next Wednesday, so make sure you join us for that. I haven't announced that, but we are going to be doing that. If you guys didn't hear it in the beginning of the show, we will be at Miami Rum Fest
Yep.
in Miami in Coral Gables, November
We'll be meeting
12th
Rob.
and 13th with Rob and all the Robs, all
And
the Robs
Robin,
that drink
and Robin.
Rob,
Robin,
and Rob, and
Robin, and Rob and Rob and Robin and Robert, and we're just
Everybody. We'll be there with everybody.
Rob and Robin.
Robin too. So we're all going to be there. We're going to be drinking some rum. So we are going to be there. That was the big announcement tonight. So we appreciate you guys. I'll get the links added up afterwards. I appreciate you guys. Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, look who always like to show up at the last
Hey,
second.
Robin made it in. I love it.
Awesome.
It's the rum mom.
The rum,
The
mom.
Rum Mom.
I love it. I love it. That's so amazing. So thank you guys so much for joining
Oh,
us.
yeah.
With that,
Gentlemen,
Royer,
it's been swell, but the swelling's gone down.
exactly. With that, Royer, I'm gonna let you sign us
All
off.
right. Always drink responsibly. Never drink and drive. And no rums or harm during the making of this video.
Not at all. We'll